Breakups are brutal. Not because of what actually happened, but because of what your mind keeps doing after it ends. It doesn't just leave you alone, it leaves you haunted. And here's the absolute worst behavior you can have after a breakup. Sitting there, romanticizing her memory. Turning the past into a highlight reel. Replaying the laughs, the kisses, the soft looks like it was some perfect movie. It's not just unhelpful, it's dangerous. Let's stop pretending. You weren't in some fairy tale. You were in a real relationship, with real cracks, real disappointments, and real reasons why it ended. Your mind is not your friend right now. Not when it comes to this. Because memory is not a mirror. It's a painting. And after a breakup, you don't see the truth. You see a masterpiece made of all the best strokes, and none of the mess underneath. Think about it. Right now, if someone asked you why you miss her, what would you say? Her laugh? Her scent? The way she looked at you from across the room? Sure, that happened. But would you also mention the way she dismissed you when you were hurting? The nights she turned her back when you needed her most? The fights that went in circles and made you question your own sanity? You probably wouldn't, because those moments are hard to relive. So your brain skips them, like a broken record stuck on the one track that makes you ache. And that, my friend, is the trap. You don't miss her. You miss the idea of her. The version of her that only exists in the best scenes your mind decided to keep. The rest? Cut, deleted, forgotten. So what do you do with that? You fight fiction with fact. You take out a piece of paper, or your phone, whatever, and you write down the truth. Not the Instagram-filtered version. The raw stuff. The things that made you feel small. The things that made you question if this was love, or just routine. The things you were afraid to say out loud even when you were with her. Write it down. Was she emotionally distant? Did she make you feel like a priority? Did she support your vision, your purpose, your drive? Did she ever make you feel like you were too much, or not enough? This isn't to get angry. This isn't to hate her. It's to balance the scale. Because right now, your emotional brain is tipping everything toward fantasy. And if you don't put some weight on the reality side, you'll stay stuck in a loop of missing someone who never fully showed up for you. Let me tell you something real. Nostalgia is a liar. It's the drug your brain feeds you when you don't want to feel pain. And like any drug, it comes with a cost. The more you indulge it, the more you crave it. And the more you crave it, the less grounded you are in the present. That's how you end up texting her again. That's how you end up stalking her online. That's how you end up telling yourself maybe, just maybe, it could work if she came back. No, it couldn't. Because the version of her you want back never existed. You made her up. You built her in your head out of fragments of the girl she used to be, and dreams of the woman she never became. You need to understand something. You're not broken. You're addicted. Addicted to the comfort of the past. Addicted to the illusion of love. Addicted to the dopamine your brain releases every time you remember something soft, something intimate, something beautiful. But love isn't beautiful all the time. And real love doesn't vanish when things get hard. She left, for whatever reason. And whether it was mutual or one-sided, the outcome is the same. It's over. Now you have two choices. You can either keep watching reruns of a story that's done, or you can write the next chapter. And I'll tell you what happens if you keep watching reruns. You rot. You lose fire. You start comparing every new person to someone who wasn't even right for you. You walk around carrying a ghost, and every time you look at someone new, you can't help but wonder if they'll make you feel what she did. Except they won't. Because you're not even giving them a chance. You're measuring reality against fantasy, and fantasy always wins until it ruins your life. So stop. Not just for your own sanity, but for your growth. You need clarity. You need momentum. And that starts by killing the illusion. Every time a soft memory creeps in, do this. Interrupt it. Stand up. Do push-ups. Jump in the shower. Blast music that has nothing to do with her. Call a friend. Go outside. Move. Breathe. Say out loud, that wasn't the full story. Because it wasn't. That memory of her touching your face? It was followed by a week of cold silence. That perfect weekend trip? It came after a screaming match where you nearly walked out. That late night talk about your future together? It was filled with maybes, not plans. You want to remember her? Fine. But remember all of her. The good, the bad, and the ugly. That's respect. That's closure. That's real. The version of her that was always kind, always warm, always supportive, she was your fantasy. And fantasizing is the worst thing you can do after a breakup. You don't heal by clinging to what was. You heal by standing in what is. And right now, what is you. standing at the beginning of a whole new chapter. You're not defined by this breakup. You're defined by what you do next. Don't waste your power looking backward. You're not here to beg for the past. You're here to build something better. So take the list you wrote. Keep it. Reread it whenever your brain starts lying to you. And every time you catch yourself drifting into that, maybe she was the one fog, remind yourself, the truth is not what you remember, it's what you lived. She was a chapter. You are the author. And the next page is waiting. Let's not sugarcoat this. Being alone after a breakup feels like getting punched in the soul. The silence is loud. The space she used to take up suddenly feels massive. Your apartment, your bed, even your own damn head, everything echoes. And the first instinct most guys have? Pull away. Ghost the world. Stop responding to friends. Skip the gym. Order food instead of going out. Sit in the dark, scrolling through old photos, trying to decode where it all went wrong. It makes sense emotionally. You're hurting. You don't feel like being social. You tell yourself you just need a few days to process. But those days turn into weeks, then into patterns. And before you know it, isolation becomes your lifestyle. That's the trap. Because isolation doesn't heal heartbreak, it magnifies it. It's a pressure cooker for bad thoughts. You start replaying everything on loop. You stop hearing outside voices. You lose perspective. And worst of all, you give your brain unlimited time to build a fantasy around someone who isn't even there anymore. Let's be real. You weren't built to be alone 24/7. No man is. We thrive in motion, in challenge, in interaction. Sitting still, hiding away, hoping the pain goes away on its own. That's not healing. That's stagnation. The longer you isolate, the deeper you sink. And the irony, the more alone you feel, the more you believe no one wants to hear about it. So you keep your mouth shut. You act like you're handling it. But deep down, it's chaos. You're thinking about her. About the last text. The last fight. The last smile. You scroll through social media, hoping she's miserable. Then feel crushed when she's not. That's what isolation does. It keeps you trapped in your own head, without friction, without perspective, without reality checks. And when there's no one around to say, hey man, this isn't you, you start thinking that maybe it is. But here's the truth. This version of you, the one hiding, avoiding, shutting down, that's not who you are. That's the wounded version. And yeah, he deserves care. But he doesn't get to take the wheel. So what do? You disrupt it. You force connection. Even when you don't want to. Especially when you don't want to. Call your closest friend. Doesn't matter if you haven't talked in weeks. Just say, hey, I need to get out of my head. You down for a coffee or something? Not to vent. Not to talk about her. Just to break the loop. Join something. A class, a gym, a community event. It doesn't matter what it is. Just go where people are. The goal isn't to replace her. The goal is to remind yourself that you exist outside of her. Because the longer you stay in isolation, the more you convince yourself that the relationship was the only place you were seen. And that's a lie. A dangerous one. You have people who care. Even if it doesn't feel like it. Even if they're not saying it the way you want. But they're there. And if you've burned some bridges, build new ones. Talk to the guy at your gym. Reconnect with your brother. Get drinks with a coworker. Hell, even chatting with your barber can shift something in you. You're not looking for deep therapy here. You're looking for disruption. You're interrupting the echo chamber in your mind with real-world presence. With action. With noise. You think staying in and processing will bring clarity. But it won't. It just brings more obsession. You'll think you're figuring things out, but you're just going in circles, convincing yourself she was the one, that you messed it up, that maybe she'll come back if you wait long enough. No, she won't. And that's good. Because this isn't a waiting room for her return. This is ground zero for your rebuild. And a man doesn't rebuild in the dark. He rebuilds in motion. So take a walk. Join a boxing class. Say yes when someone invites you somewhere. Even if it's awkward. Even if you feel like a ghost just floating around. That feeling won't last. But you've got to move through it to move past it. Here's a simple plan for the next 3 days. Day 1, call or meet up with someone you trust. Doesn't matter if it's short. Connection is the goal. Day 2, do something in public. Sit at a cafe. Go to the gym. Visit a bookstore. Stay around people. Day 3, say yes to something. An invite. A group activity. A new space. Even if you go alone. You do that, you'll feel different. Not healed. Not over her. But disrupted. And that's a start. Because no one gets out of heartbreak by sitting in it alone. You need light. You need pressure. You need movement. And isolation gives you none of that. The pain of a breakup is already heavy. Don't carry it into a cave. The world didn't end. Your story isn't over. You're just in a brutal chapter. But chapters end. Always. And you don't get to the next one by turning the page alone. You want to know why most guys never fully move on after a breakup? Because their routine stays exactly the same, just without her in it. Same coffee shop where they used to sit together. Same gym where she used to meet them after work. Same playlist that played during road trips. Same couch where they cuddled. Same bed. Same dinner order. Same habits. It's like trying to delete a file, but leaving the folder open. You keep bumping into reminders and wondering why it still hurts. Here's the truth. You can't heal in the same environment where you got hurt. Not without making changes. You don't need a new city. You don't need to burn everything down. But you do need a reset. A hard one. Your days can't revolve around ghost memories anymore. It's time to take back control. That means this chapter is all about building a new rhythm, a new system that keeps your energy moving forward instead of dragging you back. Let's break it down. First, mornings. Most guys start their day like zombies after a breakup. Snooze the alarm. Stare at the ceiling. Scroll through their phones. Check her profile just to see. No, that's dead weight behavior. From now on, mornings are for motion. Before you do anything else, get up and move. It doesn't matter how walk, run, stretch, cold shower, whatever. Movement kills stagnation. It snaps your brain out of the spiral and gives your nervous system something to grab onto. While you're at it, kill the playlist that reminds you of her. If your music feels like a breakup soundtrack, switch it up. Delete it. Make a new one. Something aggressive. Something hopeful. Something that doesn't have her name hiding between the lyrics. Next, food. Your eating habits tell you everything about your state of mind. If you're living on takeout, skipping meals, or stress-eating garbage, it's not just bad for your body, it's messing with your emotions. Food is chemistry. What you eat affects your brain. So fuel up like you're at war because in a way, you are. You're rebuilding. You're rearming. You don't skip meals in battle. You prep. Then comes the day itself. You need anchors. Fix things you do no matter what. Not because you feel like it, but because they remind you who the hell you are. This might be gym at 7 a.m., journaling at lunch, reading at night, learning a new skill for 30 minutes a day. Small things, repeated daily, build momentum. And momentum kills regret. Also, remove her name from your calendar. If her birthday is still in there, take it out. If you still have notes about trips, plans, anniversaries, erase them. Not to be cold, but because you're clearing space. The past is done. The future is yours now. Let's talk about space, your actual physical environment. Walk around your place and ask yourself one question. Is this mine or ours? If it's ours, change it. Change the sheets. Move the furniture. Throw out the stuff she left behind. Yes, even that hoodie. Especially that hoodie. You don't need shrines to a story that's over. You want to keep one photo tucked away for memory's sake? Fine. But everything else that drags you back, clean it out. Every reminder is a leak in your progress. You're not trying to forget her. You're trying to remember yourself. Now let's go deeper. Think about the things you stopped doing because of her. The friends you drifted from. The hobbies you dropped. The goals you paused. Reclaim them. Call the friend. Join the club. Sign up for that course. Pick up the camera. Lift the weights. Get back into the damn world. She's not your center anymore. You are. That doesn't mean you hate her. It means you choose you. You have to build a life that she no longer fits in, not because you're bitter, but because that chapter closed. The new one doesn't include a shadow. It includes a mission. And here's the key. Routine beats emotion. You won't feel like doing this every day. That's fine. Feelings are smoke. You don't build with smoke. You build with discipline. So create your system. Stick to it. Even when you're tired. Even when you're sad. Even when a memory punches you in the gut. Because every day you repeat your new routine, you get stronger. Every rep, every page read, every meal cooked, every walk taken without checking your phone for her name, it all stacks. That's the comeback. You're not just surviving a breakup. You're redesigning a man. Here's a quick checklist to start. Morning routine that includes physical movement. Deleted playlists, photos, and reminders from your phone. One new habit that challenges you mentally or physically. Updated your space to reflect you, not you plus her. Reached out to at least one friend or family member this week. scheduled something to look forward to that has nothing to do with her. You do these things, and within 30 days, you won't just feel better, you'll look back and wonder why you ever felt stuck in the first place. Pain doesn't disappear overnight, but purpose gives pain a place to go. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop hoping time alone will fix this. Stop carrying the ghost of a relationship in your routine like a weight around your neck. Rebuild your day. Rebuild your mind. Rebuild your life. And make damn sure it's one she no longer fits in. Let's talk about something no one warns you about after a breakup. Not your friends. Not your therapist. Not even your own logic. But it's one of the most dangerous traps you can fall into because it feels harmless. Even comforting. Sad music. Those playlists you used to love? The ones that now hit harder than they should? That track she once played in the car? That song you both claimed as yours? They're not just background noise anymore. They're a drug, and they're keeping you emotionally stuck. Here's why. Music doesn't just reflect how you feel, it intensifies it. It embeds it. It sinks it deeper into your body. Every time you play that heartbreak anthem, your nervous system relives the moment. Your heart replays the pain. Your brain strengthens the memory. It's emotional conditioning. You're literally rewiring yourself to associate sadness with pleasure. You think you're coping, but what you're really doing is looping. Reopening wounds. Re-triggering grief. Rebuilding the illusion. You sit there, headphones in, thinking you're processing. But what you're actually doing is fantasizing, romanticizing, imagining what could have been, what might still be. That's not healing. That's torture. And it doesn't stop at one song. You build entire playlists around her memory. You scroll through lyrics that feel like they were written just for you. You search for new songs that describe your pain better than you can. But here's the truth. That's not emotional release. That's emotional repetition. You're not moving forward. You're staying exactly where she left you, emotionally frozen. Let's break this down even further. Sad music activates the same areas of the brain associated with memory, emotion, and reflection. And when you're already vulnerable, those pathways fire hard. It becomes addictive. You chase the hit, the melancholy, the depth. Because feeling something, even if it hurts, feels better than feeling numb. But if you do that for too long, your brain starts confusing sadness with identity. You become the guy who's broken, who feels things deeply, who's always in his feelings. You start associating that pain with who you are now. And that's dangerous. Because then the breakup isn't just something that happened to you, it becomes part of your personality. That song comes on and you lean into it. You let the tears come. You stare at the ceiling. You rewind her voice in your head, her laugh, her goodbye, over and over, week after week. And then you wonder why you still can't move on. It's because you've turned healing into a playlist. Let me be clear, emotion is not weakness. Crying once or twice to a song that catches you off guard is normal. Music hits deep. It always has. But letting sad music become your daily soundtrack? That's self-sabotage. You wouldn't scroll through her old texts all day, would you? You wouldn't watch videos of your worst fights on repeat, right? So why are you doing the same thing with your ears? It's time to cut the cord. Here's the move. Go into your music app right now. Look at the playlists you've been listening to since the breakup. The artists. The albums. The titles. If more than half of it feels like it's pulling your heart back to her, delete them. Yes, delete. Not hide. Not archive. Delete. Why? Because you don't need triggers disguised as therapy. You need momentum. And you won't get momentum by swimming in sorrow. Replace the playlist. Not with fake happy music. Not with shallow noise. Replace it with songs that make you feel powerful. Focused. Grounded. Even angry if it helps. Anger can be fuel if used right. You're not building a wall. You're breaking out of a loop. You don't need a breakup playlist. You need a rebuild playlist. Here's a practical challenge. For the next 7 days. No sad songs. None. No acoustic heartbreaks. No breakup ballads. No indie suffering. Start your day with something strong. Instrumental, epic, aggressive, whatever shakes you up. When a sad song comes on automatically, don't wait for the chorus. Skip. Immediately. Create a new playlist titled with your next chapter. Something like Comeback Mode, Focus Only, or Built from This. And when you feel that craving to put on that one track, the one that always hits, you stop. And you ask yourself, am I healing or am I hurting myself? Because make no mistake, music is powerful. It can build you or break you. And right now, you need to rebuild. You're not weak for liking deep music, but you need to be aware of what you're reinforcing with it. This chapter of your life doesn't need a soundtrack that sounds like a funeral. It needs a war cry, a beat that reminds you you're alive, that you're rebuilding, that you're more than a man who got left. You're a man who's learning, leveling up, reinventing himself. And that version of you, he doesn't sit in the dark listening to sad songs. He walks out into the world with something to prove, not to her, but to himself. Because once you stop feeding the pain stops feeding you. So kill the playlist. Replace the silence with strength. And never let a melody become your prison again.